what allows me to put that beautiful plate together? It's the farmer, it's the grandmother who's been holding on to this recipe for a really long time. It's the trained staff who are able to do the work and prepare it according to the specifications we've put together. It's also clients being willing to be adventurous or looking for something different. And all of those things are what we celebrate when we put that plate together. And it tells of the people who prepared it and then the history behind that dish. Authenticity is what allows us to do what we're good at, and it allows us to actually be satisfied with ourselves. And I think when people are satisfied with themselves, they are able to interact with others in a better way, with better energy, and in a positive manner. I think as a Ghanaian child, you have the choice of being a lawyer or a doctor. So those were the two options I was given as a child, and doctor was the one I kind of gravitated towards naturally myself. And by the time that I finished school, I was doing geography, and I actually started doing work with development, trying to help people to improve the quality of their lives through international development. I also always wanted to go to culinary school, but my Ghanaian parents were very much sort of, okay, we don't really understand that. And over the years, it's something that stayed with me. There was always like a little voice in my head that said, okay, but what about food? This is something else that's really interesting. But that initial conversation is something that was my first challenge in terms of you want to be a cook and you want to cook for people, to now where I'm a chef and I can actually create change, positive change in society. So the conversations I've had with my family and my experience with development work and humanitarian work has allowed me to craft what does that mean I want to help people. Through the work that I did with the international affairs, moving into Africa, living in Africa, doing a lot of work on development, I was also able to see the issues around food, food security, food as culture, food as a way of people sharing their culture, sharing what they do, but also the line of people from the farmers to the mothers and the grandmothers who have this information and the knowledge that prepare food with love, which says something about culture that is then given to people. It's because when my family moved to the US, one of the things that we did was we kept our culture, our Ghanaian culture, through food. So 2 days a year, we ate out in a restaurant. So Mother's Day and my mother's birthday. The rest of the time, we ate Ghanaian food at home. So that was an expression of how we maintained our link to Ghana. I believe that authenticity is a continuous process. Everybody has something that they're good at that actually makes them happy. And as you are more authentic to yourself, you're tapping into that energy and that genius that you have, it's a gift that you have that you are to share with others. And I think it actually becomes effortless. The advice that I would give to people who are feeling a bit afraid of sort of making the leap and the jump is to prepare and do your homework. So before I did this full-time, I started part-time. And before I did it part-time, it was a hobby. And while it was a hobby, I was reading as much as I could. So I think when it comes to being authentic, it's to understand what is the basis and understand what are some of the possibilities and opportunities to do your homework to educate yourself on what that path looks like and what it means. Midunu is a subsidiary of Miyama House. Miyama House, my grandmother's name was Mariama, and she was a very strong woman that held her family together through a lot of her entrepreneurial work. So she is actually a Gonja woman, Muslim woman that lived in the north, and she was able to raise 9 children and was able to actually support most of the family through the work that she did. She was able to own property. She was able to have shops where she sold fabric to support and send the children to school. So for our business, that's sort of the name that I hold and the spirit that I would like to, I use for my energy.